Yeah, you know what time it is? Skol Gang, 365, let's go! Hosted by D-Roy, we run this town. Money at police vibe, ain't no backing down. Step in the zone where the energy's live. Skol Gang representing, we ready to thrive. With Colin by my side, we dropping the facts. No cap in our game, you know we never relax. From the north to the south, we spreading the word. Viking news, rumors, everything heard. Got the purple pride, yeah we wear it bold. In the rap game, man, we breaking the mold. Fuck the Bears, fuck the Lions, fuck the Packers too, we keep on rising. Skol Gang is here, yeah we staying true. Get all your Viking news and rumors here first. Crew. Streets of Minneapolis, we making it clear. D-Roy.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Welcome to Skol Gang 365. Welcome. Talk a little bit about the Vikings draft and how they drafted. Me personally, I feel like we could have had a better draft, but at the same time, I'm happy that it wasn't a total train wreck. But more or less, I'm just pissed off that we didn't find a center until the later round. One moment. But yeah, take an injury-prone defensive tackle, first round 18. Sure, why not? We got phenomenal health and wellness here, I guess. Take a linebacker, second round. I'll say that was a solid move. Because me personally, I would either went linebacker or corner in the second round. And I don't know, from there on, it was just questionable to me. Hello. But yeah, And then on top of that, not having a GM. I mean, at this point, I would have rather had Kwesi do the draft and then just fire him after the draft. I mean, couldn't have been any worse. But hey, big citrus. That was another move that I liked from the draft. Jake Calday and Dominic Orange. And the pick at 98 was solid too. The safety that we got from Miami, I'd say he was solid. Um, didn't understand picking up the fullback. Don't need a fullback. I'll say the pick at 198, the running back. From what I've seen out of him, I think he could do well, but I don't know. I don't know if I would have taken a running back that late, and I also don't think I would have taken a center that late. But hey, if these guys can pan out, then so be it. But if these guys can't pan out, gonna hear a lot. Gonna hear a lot. I think more or less I'm kind of irritated that, you know, McCoy was getting passed on because he had a lingering injury. The corner from Tennessee. Vikings should have just snagged him. I mean, why not? You already grabbed Caleb Banks at 18, who's injured. Why not grab McCoy? But it's going to be a really interesting season. I mean, got Blake Brandel, who's obviously going to be filling in at center because don't have anybody since losing Ryan Kelly, who we should have never brought in the first place. Injury prone like hell. It's gonna be interesting to see how this year pans out. Whoever plays quarterback is going to be under tremendous amount of pressure, being that the weak spot is going to be that center position. And who's to say that our offensive line is going to be a full 100% ready to go? Last year, none of them could barely be on the field together. So health and wellness for the O-line, that's going to be a key factor this year in how well this offense does. And more importantly, in my opinion, Kevin O'Connell, he's got to utilize the run game this year. Not utilizing it on 3rd and long or scrapping it for trick plays. That's not going to help you keep your job. So, I mean, ultimately, it's going to come down to how bad he wants to continue to be a head coach in Minnesota. This year, he's most definitely going to be in the hot seat, 100%. If he can't figure this stuff out, I think you're going to be looking at Brian Flores as the next head coach for the Minnesota Vikings. And the Wolves released a statement saying that they're actively now searching, since the draft is over, they're actively now searching for a GM. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see who they bring in for interviews. I would not mind McKay from the Rams. I would not mind Dodds from Indianapolis as a GM. I wouldn't mind Agnew from the Lions as a GM. I think those three names for sure would be stellar as a GM. Another name out there, the guy from the Broncos. Yeah, I just don't think that he's gonna be able to do it, Rob. Don't think so. Oh. Yeah, the guy from the Broncos, I wouldn't mind him either. Those guys. Even a fifth option, and I know that he's not like for certain out there like on the list of choices, but Louis Riddick too. I think that's my top 5 right there on who I'd want to be a GM for the Vikings. It's going to be even more interesting to see who we bring in as our third wide receiver, though. That's still like up for debates. I know we brought in Juan Jennings for a visit. So who's to say what goes down with that? Vikings signed defensive lineman Eric Johnson II to sign with the Vikings. Free agent. All right, signing. All right, here I'm about to share to you guys is the official statement from Ziggy and the Wolf family. With the conclusion of the 2026 NFL Draft, our search for the next general manager of the Minnesota Vikings is underway. This will be a thorough and deliberate process led by ownership with the support of a small internal advisory committee of senior leaders. We've also engaged respected firm Turkney ZRG to assist in conducting a wide-ranging search that includes experienced NFL football executives, emerging candidates, and individuals with diverse professional backgrounds. Our focus is to identify a decisive leader with a clear vision for team building, strong communication skills, and ability to build alignment across an organization. Out of respect for all involved, we do not intend to publicly announce candidates and will provide further comment when the search is complete. So they're not even going to put out the candidates. At this point, it's just going to be a guessing game. The only thing that we will see is their announcement when the search is complete, when they do find the person that they think is best suited to be GM of the Vikings. So, I mean, outside of everything going on with the Vikings, I think this, to me, right here, is the biggest thing going into this season. What's going to happen with this GM position? Behind that, wide receiver 3. Still don't have a clear shot guy at wide receiver 3. They drafted Ty Felton last year. I still haven't seen anything out of the guy. So I think he's still going to continue to make noise in the practice squad or special teams. But bringing in a guy like Juan Jennings, who led the Niners, I'd be all right with that. I mean, we need all the help that we can get right now. Outside of that position, I'd say we need to find another safety that's not Theo Jackson. Like, he should have been cut a couple seasons ago when he was on the board to be a free agent. He hasn't shown me anything why he should stay on this team. Another big thing that we need to be looking at is the center position. Are we really going to trust going into this season Blake Brandel being our starting center? Or are we going to hope that this guy that got drafted in the 6th round is going to be our starter? All this is going to be decided after preseason. So we have a long way to go through the summer. It's going to be a long, tough road to see what happens with this team. But I don't know. Our team definitely needs to hit on all cylinders, and they need to be thorough in coming this season compared to last season. Last season, just too many injuries and not a lot of clear direction from a coaching standpoint, which seemed to be the problem last season from what I saw. Injuries didn't help, but coaching ultimately could have been better last season. But I think ultimately, I think scouting needs to be looked at. Definitely need to be better scouting. Another possible candidate that stepped away from his position yesterday is the assistant GM of the Philadelphia Eagles. That right there could be another potential target. Now that I'm looking at this, man, the understudy of Howie to the Vikings. Whew, I don't know. I don't necessarily know how good this guy is. I don't know, but man, a lot of Viking fans are saying grab the assistant GM from Philly. I'm gonna have to throw him in there to at least top 2, top 3 of my choices. Definitely McKay from the Rams. Definitely McKay from the Rams. The assistant GM from Philly, I'd put at number 2. Dodds from the Colts. Agnew from the Lions, and the guy from the Broncos. Caleb Banks will be wearing number 95 this season. Not bad, not bad. I think one reason why they went fullback in this draft is they need to replace CJ Ham, but ultimately try to help get this run game established, get this run game going. And plus, this guy has familiar ties with J.J. McCarthy. He was seen with J.J. McCarthy when he got drafted. And from a lot of Wolverine fans, they're saying that this guy is an absolute hammer, and we'll lay the hammer down. Hey, I want to thank you for the picks that we received for Jonathan Grenard, Philly Boy Eagles. I'm just still kind of salty that we didn't replace him. So hopefully he gets replaced this next coming draft. 2027. 2027 is supposed to be a real good draft for edge. Supposed to be a better draft class ultimately. I just think this draft this year was just really, really weird. It was a really, really weird draft. Oh, for sure. Can you tell me a little bit about your assistant GM? Would he be a solid candidate to be a GM? That's one of the names being listed as a possible GM for the Vikings. I don't know much about this guy. Oh, that's good to hear then. Hell yeah. For sure. I think, him or the guy or the guy from the Rams are, to me, the clear two choices. Or the guy the guy Agnew from the Lions. McKay from the Rams, your guy from the Eagles, the Lions guy Agnew, the guy Dodds from Indianapolis, and the Broncos guy. But for me, the clear two choices got to be the McKay from the Rams and your guy from the Eagles to be the GM. I mean, you said it yourself. Did it for 17 years. He helped a lot out with Howie and got 2 Super Bowl rings out of that. Yep, considering that he knows how to draft, sitting in the rooms with Howie, for sure. Hopefully this is not hopefully with the Vikings ownership, this isn't a long process to find a new general manager. Hopefully this is like a quick and swift process. Like, you bring in these candidates, go over these qualities, go over their successes, go over this stuff, and then ultimately, like, the deciding factor is like who out of this group has got the most grit, who can come in, who can ultimately turn this organization around for the betterment of now to the near future. And me personally, I think you take either McKay from the Rams or this guy from the Eagles, who was the assistant GM under Howie. I think either those two guys is a no-brainer for the Vikings. Has to be. Well, Vikings just revealed their undrafted free agency list. First up, Marcus Allen, corner out of North Carolina, went undrafted. Devon Armstead, cornerback out of North Texas. Wide receiver Dylan Bell out of Georgia. From what I heard from Bulldog fans, this kid is a beast. Outside linebacker Jordan Baseo, is that how you say his name? From the University of Notre Dame. Big guy. Corner Tyreek Chappell from Texas A&M. D lineman Monkel Goodwin from South Carolina. Wide receiver Shalik Knotts from Maryland. Linebacker Kelly Lawson from UCF. Another offensive lineman from Clemson, Tristan Lay. Offensive lineman Delby Umnix from Dartmouth. Running back from FIU, K. John Owens. O-lineman from Virginia Tech, Thomas Remick. Marcus Sanders Jr., wide receiver, Georgia Southern. Another safety, we got Jacob Thomas from James Madison. Brett Thorson, punter from Georgia. His hometown, he's from Melbourne, Australia, 6'2". From what they're saying about this guy, they're saying that this guy was an absolute beast, being a punter for the Bulldogs going back to their title-winning 2022 campaign. They also picked up Arden Walker outside linebacker, Colorado. Scooby Williams, linebacker, Texas A&M. Making a lot of splashes at wide receiver from what I'm seeing, and linebacker and corner. Also, we got Luke Wysong, wide receiver, Arizona. Not bad. Like I said, it's going to be very, very interesting now up until the end of preseason to see who gets cut, who gets kept, who's a beast, and who's a loser. So it's going to be very, very interesting. This year, we don't know what weeks we're playing these opponents. These are just names of teams that we are for sure playing. Just the schedule has not been released yet. So obviously for 2026, we get the Bears, the Lions, the Packers, 3 games at home, 3 games away. Outside of that, we got the Atlanta Falcons at home, the Carolina Panthers at home, the Buffalo Bills at home, the Miami Dolphins at home, Washington Commanders at home, the Indianapolis Colts at home. Now on the road, we'll be seeing the New Orleans Saints. We'll be seeing the Buccaneers in Tampa. We'll be seeing the Patriots in New England. We'll be seeing the Jets in New Jersey. And we'll be seeing those 49ers in California. We'll have 9 home games this year, and we will have 8 road games. The more home games, the more better. I think this year is going to be really interesting. Going to be really interesting to see this the center battle between Gavin Gerhardt and Blake Brandel. That's going to be really interesting. Now, this guy, Jacoby Thomas, After watching film on this guy and how this guy plays, this guy is an absolute beast in the secondary. I look for this guy to be an immediate presence in the backfield with Metellus, hands down. This guy is an absolute beast. The running back that we got in the 6th round, Claiborne. It's going to be really interesting to see what he does, along with this corner that we took in the 5th round, Charles Demings. But the tackle from Northwestern, Caleb Tiernan. I think he's going to be a solid backup for this offensive line. Whether Darisaw goes down, whether O'Neal goes down, you're going to have a solid piece to fill in when need be. And this is one thing that the Vikings needed, was they needed some solid depth on that offensive line. But yeah, round 1, kind of skeptical, considering that Banks has not played a full season in college. But yes, when he is on the field, he is an absolute disruptor. He is compared to Chris Jones. Whether he can live up to that hype of being like Chris Jones or not, still undetermined, up in smoke. But decent pick. What would not have been my first option, but decent, considering that we did need defensive lineman. Jake Golday, from what I've seen, this guy is an animal. This guy can play all over in the box. He can stop the run. He can rush the pass. He's a beast. This is a guy that Brian Flores is going to be using all over. So absolute beast. Big Citrus, Dominic Orange from Iowa State. Absolute behemoth. He's going to be fun to watch on the field. Absolute madman. Look forward to seeing this guy disrupt some offensive lines and disrupt the quarterback. So absolute dog. And round 3 with Jacoby Thomas, absolute beast. And from what the Wolverine fans are telling me, this guy Max Bredson, the fullback from Michigan, he's an absolute beast too. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens from now and up until the end of preseason with a lot of these guys. For me personally, I say Jacoby Thomas makes the team. Orange makes the team. Galde makes the team. Banks should make the team, considering that he was taken first round 18. I think he makes the team. Claiborne, I think he makes the team, considering how desperate we are in the running back room outside of Jordan Mason And you got old ass Aaron Jones. Don't know why he's still here, but apparently he's still here. Gavin Gerhardt, I think he makes the team. Charles Demings, I think he makes the team, considering how many holes that we got in our corner room. I think he makes the team, along with Caleb Tiernan. I think he makes the team. So I think all these guys that we drafted from round 1 to 7, I think these guys make the team. Now, for me personally, I think it's going to come down to these undrafted free agents that we picked up. These guys are going to be battling it out with the guys that we already have on practice squad. So it's going to be very interesting. And it's going to be interesting to see who gets let go, who stays out of that group of UDFAs and current practice squad guys. But I think for certain that these guys that we got from round 1 through 7, they make this team in one way, shape, or form. Whether they are a definite backup or whether they are playing special teams. But I for sure think that they are going to be Vikings. And this spring was definitely not kind to the Vikings at all. We had lost 4-time Pro Bowler Jeff Simeon, linebacker. We lost him in March. We lost Joey Browner in March. And then this month we had lost Doug Martin, our 1980 first-round pick. So this spring has not been kind to the Vikings at all whatsoever. Hopefully things go and move in the right direction for this team. Our thoughts and prayers are with the family of Doug Martin, Joey Browner, and Jeff Simeon. Totally grateful for what those guys did for this organization. Totally grateful for the type of athletes that they were for this team, and they will forever be in our memories, and they will live forever through the Vikings. On top of Aaron Jones being brought back, oh man, another one that just doesn't sit well with me is resigning Tavir Thomas. Why? Don't understand that. Probably never going to anyway. Bringing back Carson Wentz. Solid. He's obviously not going to be the starter, but veteran experience in the locker room to help with J.J. McCarthy. Johnny Hecker. no longer Pro Bowl caliber player. Don't know why we moved on from Ryan Wright. But they bring in Johnny Hecker. Who knows how long Johnny is going to be with the Vikings, but probably not long. Very excited that we had brought back Andrew DiPola, our long snapper, and Bo Richter and Xavier Scott. Don't know much about the guy that they signed, James Pierre, the corner. Played with the Steelers. Hopefully he makes an impact. But awesome news. Vikings exercised the 5th-year option for Jordan Addison. This comes 2 days before today when they announced their search for general manager. So hopefully good things keep coming. Hopefully good things keep coming for this team. Hopefully this GM search stops in the month of May and they find someone. Little news about this Eric Johnson II, defensive tackle that we picked up. Originally a 5th-round selection by the Colts in the 2022 NFL Draft. Johnson spent his first 2 pro seasons with the Colts, a stint with the Patriots in 2024, then rejoined the Colts for 2025. He played 12 games last season, recorded 6 tackles, including 1 for a loss. He's on the field for 131 defensive snaps and 16 special team snaps. His most productive season was in 2023 when he had 15 tackles, a sack, and a tackle for loss. So, I mean, he's young. He's got the experience. Why not? What's up, Rob?
What's up, Darren? How's it going?
Just going over this current, going over the draft and signings.
Yeah.
I think this Eric Johnson II will. I think he'll mesh well with our current defensive tackle room.
Yeah, I do too. I was looking at that today with what we're trying to do, with the whole draft, with reinventing the interior of the line, with, getting Banks and Orange, trying to bring back for the first time in over a decade, like the Williams Wall-sized guys. And then, you still got Jalen Redmond and Levi Drake Rodriguez. Right. And he's another big one and everything. It's just rotation. Yeah, I mean, adding to the depth, adding to the rotation, keeping guys fresh. I like it. I mean, we've been run up the gut. You and me have been bitching about this for at least 6 years now on podcasts about getting run right up the middle by everybody. And I think
every running back just runs up the gut.
Yeah, and I really think that they've decided they've had enough. I mean, Dominic Orange being the main one, but then you look at Redmond and and Redmond's a good rusher too and everything, but you look at guys that got the size to be able to stop that and everything. So, that's where I think they're going with this, to be honest. So, and I'm fine with it. A lot of people are like, they're so down on our draft this year, but I'm like, well, look, this is what happens when you got a GM like Quasi that really didn't draft the way he was supposed to over the past several years. Because you're supposed to draft big nasties every year. You're supposed to draft linebackers every year. I think we got a fucking steal.
We got to steal that linebacker.
In linebacker Gold A. I mean, that could be a generational.
We got to steal that safety with Thomas.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, so we didn't do this for the past 4 or 5 years. We're making up for it this draft and everything. We already have all the skill position players. And you know what? If Juwan Jennings actually signs, and we've all been looking all day because he was there working out. Oof. I mean, if he signs, I don't think we really need much anything.
No.
On the offensive side of the ball. It's just, we were already like a top 8 defense. Watch this fucking shit get even better now that we shore up the run stop game and stuff like that,
And with the possibility of us signing the former assistant general manager of the Eagles, who was Howie's understudy, if he becomes our GM, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I'm looking forward. I mean, I get it. A lot of people trashed our draft. I think it was what was needed, and we kind of did take the good players where they were available too. There's a lot of guys that I wanted that, almost all of them that we didn't take and everything. But like I said up leading beforehand, I would love to have like Caleb Banks and Dominic Orange. I just didn't think we were going to take Caleb Banks in the first round, and I didn't think Orange was going to be there for us. And then, I mean, we did great on Gold A was always one of those guys that was mocked to us high and everything. I'm like, yeah, but I don't know if we'll really actually take a linebacker, even though, you should always draft one. Well, you start looking at all the positions he played. He started off playing defensive end, and then he learned how to play Mike linebacker, Will linebacker, Sam linebacker, all this other stuff. He's basically like an Anthony Barr or a Andrew Van Ginkel 2.0, and he's young as fuck. I mean, I think, I mean, that's the one I'm actually most excited about right now, other than Orange, probably.
For me, it's him, Orange, and Jacoby Thomas from Miami.
Yeah, for sure.
From Miami, like the way he talks about, like he plays football with violence, this reminds me of Andrew Sandejo.
Yeah. And then a lot of people are saying that late round running back that we took, it was a Claiborne, could end up being a real draft steal too, because you look at his highlights, that kid can freaking put some shit into motion.
As long as he keeps Aaron Jones on the bench, I'll be happy.
Right? Well, I was half-assed thinking when it was getting towards the way end of the draft, and this is just the homer part of me, but I'm like, you know what? If we drafted Caden Weege out of Iowa, I mean, set the record in the Big Ten for kick returns for touchdowns, punt returns, all this other shit and everything. We could have him be the special teamer specialist, move Miles Price to running back, and Miles Price could actually really bring a lot to the game. Obviously, we didn't go anywhere near that route, but we got this Claiborne kid. Now, he's got some stuff. You just plug him in at running back.
Yeah.
I think some good things will happen because he's that lightning part of the Thunder and Lightning bit. So Jordan Mason is still the Thunder. And then you split reps between Claiborne. Who was the kid from last year that got injured?
Scott.
Yeah, Scott, and then Claiborne and everything. So you got plenty of lightning now and everything. You got some thunder, and then that fullback that we drafted too was a very. The more I look at it, very smart move, really. Yeah, because for the first time in 12, 13 years, we're replacing CJ Ham. You got that kid out there. He looks like he likes to fucking hit people and fuck some shit up. That's actually a good move right there too, and everything. So you got the Thunder, with Jordan Mason. You got this kid. Well, remains to be seen what he can do, and then you got plenty of lightning. And if anything else fails, Aaron Jones, if nothing else, I'm still going to applaud his ability to catch passes out of the backfield and be a glorified, third or fourth wide receiver. So
that's about all he can do with it nowadays, though. Which is fine to me. That's really all we need him to do.
Yeah, he's that change of pace, scat back, freaking catching passes out of the backfield, catching those screens and everything.
Yeah.
But I think there'll be a couple surprise camp cuts and some guys that we end up with yet that we weren't expecting. But the big thing is, if we sign Juwan Jennings, I'll actually start getting a little bit cocky about stuff, because who the fuck is stopping that offense?
Yeah. I mean,
for real. That's almost unfair to the rest of the division.
Yeah.
But no, I just figured I'd pop on here for a second and shoot the shit with you and everything. I just got to get to bed here after a bit.
Even Bear fans want Jennings, but I don't see him going to the Bears.
Yeah. Well, before I pop off of here, how comfortable are you? Because I'm pretty comfortable right now with the fact that we have Kyler Murray. At least I feel like our wide receivers and our tight ends are going to get used this year the way they're supposed to. I mean, he has his skill sets, he has his drawback, but I still feel like we've got a guy that can pass for between 3,000 and 4,000 yards again this year and hit people downfield for touchdowns. I feel like we're back on track.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with the move. Like, he can definitely spread the ball out, whether short yards, medium yards. His deep ball ability for being that short is impressive. And the biggest thing for me this year is going to be the offensive line again. Like, how well can they be healthy for? Can they stay on the field as a collective unit for more than just 5-6 games? Like, if anybody's going to be playing quarterback, they need to have an offensive line.
Yeah. And, the biggest question mark out there is we didn't do anything about center. I think if everybody's healthy and Brandel goes through a full off season of stuff, I'm somewhat comfortable with it. I kind of really think that if there's any surprise cuts during camps, that we'll bring in another center again. I was really, and not just for the homer aspect of it, but hoping for like Logan Jones out of Iowa, or even Jennings Dunker, the guard. Logan Jones went way higher than I thought he was going to. I mean, looking at national averages, that's where they said he probably should have went. I didn't think a lot of people had him rated that high, but he was. And then of course the Steelers take Jennings Dunker one fucking pick right in front of us. I was like, God damn you guys. I hate you with the fire and the passion of 1,000 burning suns right now. But to be honest, our biggest problem with what we had last year was health for the first half of the year.
Yeah.
If Darisaw, O'Neal, all these guys can stay healthy. Donovan Johnson had a great rookie year, in my opinion, at left guard. PFF grades might not show it, but I really don't actually give a fuck about PFF grades. And then Will Fries, we know what he's good at. We know what he's not good at. But you get some continuity, you get the guys healthy, you get them all playing together as a unit, they can all improve each other too, so it might not be that bad. And you specifically bring in a guy like Kyler Murray that is one of the weaseliest, run around, create space type of guys. If we are to have weaknesses on the offensive line, we got a guy that's really, really fucking good at escaping pressure and stuff like that and still getting the ball downfield. So I feel like it's a net gain. It might not be much of one. And I would still like to get a very competent center and then probably, work on depth at the right guard position. But I don't think we're worse by any stretch of the imagination than what we started off. And that fucking 6'9" tackle that we drafted, which may be eventually the heir apparent and the replacement for Brian O'Neill, I'd be real excited to see what that big fucker can do.
Yeah, the guy that we took from Northwestern, big fucker.
Oh yeah, Jesus criminy! You look at back when we had the bookend tackles, and of course my Alzheimer's going to kick in right now. But it was during right around the Favre era and everything, maybe a little bit afterwards and everything. But we had Bryant McKinney, and then who was the other 6'8" dude on the other side? God dang it, can't remember his name right now. But we had those two 6'8" bookend tackles.
Yeah.
Oh dang it! What was his freaking name? And he was on the team for like 5 or 6 years too. Dang it! I just can't remember. It'll come to me right as soon as I get off, but off the podcast. But it's about time we start getting size. And I really love what Rob Brzezinski did. Like everything we started off with was like, it's 6'4", 330. It's 6'6", 345. All these big guys. Lance Golday he's bigger than Van Ginkel. It's like we are not running these undersized guys anymore and everything. I'm drafting big. I'm drafting nasty. I want people that have the size and the attitude that's going to knock the teeth down somebody's freaking throat. It wasn't what we expected at first. And a lot of us were sitting here like, what the fuck are we doing? Then we start researching into it. It's like, you know what? Because we've neglected the trenches for like 4 or 5 years now, this actually makes perfect sense of what they're doing. And I honestly think it's going to benefit us. I think we can be a 10 to 12, possibly 13 win team this year.
Yeah.
Gosh dang it. Now I'm going to be sitting here all night. I might even have to Google who that other big offensive tackle we had. But when we had them big bookends, those 2 6'8" guys and everything, that seemed to solve a lot of stuff back in the day,
Right.
But well, anyways, I don't know. It is a little bit after 11. I do need to get to bed, but I figured I'd jump on, at least shoot the shit with you. It's been like about fucking probably 3-4 weeks since we podcasted together and everything. So, but
it was definitely good talking to you.
Absolutely. So, all right. Well, come on Saturday at noon if you can. And other than that, I guess we'll catch you later, Darren. You have a good one.
You too.
Later.
I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in and watching Skol Gang 365, your Wednesday night Vikings podcast.
Yeah, yo, it's game time, ain't no messing around. Huddle Sports Network, the best in town. From NFL rumors to the latest trends, we got all your sports, just tune in, my friends. Catch us on Roku, Fire Stick, take your pick. Facebook, YouTube, where the action's slick. Daily shows that drop like a bomb. From 10 to 11, it's Ken and Ken, stay calm. Huddle up, catch the vibe, feel the rush. Get your news, get your fills in the clutch. Over 27 podcasts, we breaking it down. Join the team, Huddle Sports, wear the crown. Live every weekday, it's how we roll. Lions Talk with Jeremy B, we taking a stroll. From 11 to 12, don't miss a beat. We break down the game, make the info sweet. The Daily Huddle Podcast, noon to 1. CST Zone, we're just having fun. Toss your doubts, we bring the facts. Tune into the Huddle.